there any way to limit this, to limit a radicalization going on in the prison system?
Well, I don't think you can stop anybody from radicalizing on the internet. I think what we've got to do here's the thing. There's two different things. I think to sort of, we got to parse this a little bit. So becoming a Muslim is perfectly okay. Our Constitution protects that right? Radicalizing on the internet and becoming a member of ISIS, that's problematic. How we fix this problem is we wrap our arms around our Muslim brothers and sisters who have absolutely positively no ties to terrorism and the demagoguery towards them, and at the same time use all the resources we have to shut down the dark web and shut down people's ability to get information, to radicalize and become radical Islam over the internet. And I think we have to do those two things at the same time. But the problem that you have is the more you talk about radical Islam over and over again, the more you begin to sort of demagogue the entire Muslim faith.
So I want to get to Lisa in a second, but again, when you say radical Islam, you're not demagoguing the entire Muslim race. You're specifically calling out the portion of the Muslim population that is radicalized, that's willing to perform jihad against the West. Richard, it's not a broadcloth. It's a specific point. But again, we've had so many Islamophobic problems about saying radical Islam when it really does eliminate the rest of the Muslim population.
So let me say this, and I don't want to interrupt here, but let me make this point. I was in Dearborn Monday and Tuesday working with some folks from Access, which is an Arab American advocacy group, and you talk to them, and Dearborn is one of the highest Muslim populations in the country, and they're saying they're seeing, when you talk about radical Islam, people are associating it with peaceful Muslims, and that's the problem. There's not a problem with saying radical Islam. The problem is that how the public is interpreting that is to be all Muslims are terrorists, and that's just not true.
Right. Okay. I think that's actually to the contrary. Well, I think that's actually to the contrary, because I think when you're saying radical Islamic extremism, you're actually very clearly separating it from the many Muslims that are living in this country and around the world that are peaceful and don't want anything to do with this, terrible behavior, because they believe it is not reflective of their religion as a whole. So I think actually when you use that term, you're very clearly separating the two and putting ISIS and these horrible individuals into a completely different category than the religion as a whole. But look, I think we really need to be very honest at a time where Secretary Kelly has said that there are FBI investigations in all 50 states in regard to ISIS and to terror-related activities. So I think we need to be very honest about the discussions we have. And you can very clearly point to places in Europe where there's these Muslim ghettos where there has not been assimilation that has taken place, where you have second, third, fourth generation Muslims who have not adhered to the country that they're living in, and that's where you have a lot of these ISIS fighters that are stemming from. So we need to be very honest conversation.
We need to point out that there should be some more integration by the community, by law enforcement, the Muslim community as well. But let's do this. And every time I say this, I get a call from CARE, and I will say it again, Rachel, that if more peace-loving Muslims, and there are 1.5 billion of them, if more of them would come forward and maybe tell us about planned jihads or cells they know about or people they think may be suspect, if more of that would go on, maybe then it wouldn't be such a broad cloth used by certain percentage of the population. Certainly not this one, but certain percentages. Rachel.
You're absolutely right. And also, if Muslims would speak more openly and more frequently about the reform that's needed within their own religion. There are factions, small groups within the United States that are trying to get that message out, but oftentimes they're shut out.
This is an important topic. Richard, I'm going to give you ample time. Should peace-loving Muslims be more forthcoming with information to help out the rest of the community?
The best way we can do this is end the demagoguery, embrace Muslims like Linda Cesar and Huma Abedin, and stop connecting them
I'm sorry,
with ISIS.
as a liberated woman, I am not going to embrace anybody who's for Sharia law, which is for the systematic subjugation of women. I'm sorry, I'm not going to go for that, Richard.
Well, we have more coming up. We have a lot more coming up. Forget all the missiles our enemies are parading